Last week I posted a video about my upcoming exploration of the two most widely used pentatonic scales in music styles such as rock, blues, country music, jazz, and I said that the major pentatonic scale comes from the major scale. Uh, the, uh, the pentatonic scales have only 5 notes, but the major scale has 7 notes. And from those 7 notes, we take the 5 tones, the 5 notes that we need to play the the pentatonic scale. The major pentatonic scales comes from the major scale, and the minor pentatonic scales comes from the Dorian scale, or the Dorian mode. Yeah, but and I said, well, you know what? How do you play the major scale on the guitar? How do you play any scale on the guitar? How do you play the scales on the guitar? This is things as guitar players, especially the beginners, have to learn. So before I even start exploring the scales, I want to show myself something about the major scale on the guitar, so you can see for yourself. As I'm showing myself, then I'm showing you. So this is the guitar, and like I just said, this is mostly for the beginners, Okay, we have 6 strings here. We got an E. Okay. First of all, let me say that the the major scales from which we take the 5 notes to play the pentatonic scales has 7 notes, and there's also something called step and half step in the major scale. Or we can call the step whole tone, and we can call the half step semitone. So in the major scale we have 5 tones and 2 semitones. That means we have 5 steps and 2 half steps. On the guitar, how do you find the steps or the whole tone and the half steps or the semitones? Well, this is the high E on the guitar. So if I play the first note on the first fret on the E string, if I press it down, this is F. So you need to keep that in mind now. The open E, the distance between the open E and when I press the first fret, the E string on the first fret, that distance between E and F is a semitone, is half tone. Okay? Let me look at the second string then. Okay, this is a B. Okay, if I press the B string on the first fret, that's a C. Also between the open B and the C that I pressed on the first fret, that is also half step. The third string, G, I'm going to press the first fret. That's a G sharp. That's also half step or semitone. This is a D. I'm going to press the first fret. That's a D sharp. That's also a half step semitone. A. Alright. First fret. That's an A sharp. That's also a half step. A low E. Alright. I'm gonna press the first step, the first fret. That's an F. That's also a half step. So I just play half steps, semitones between open string, and when I press a note, all 6 notes, all 6 strings on the first fret. Okay? So now I'm going to play a note. Let me start with F on the E string. I'm going to play a half step, right? So you can see what the half step is when you start from a fretted note, like an F here. I'm going to move up 1 fret. Sorry. Since I messed up, let me play it again. F. Up 1 step. That's F sharp. That's a half step. When you play 1 fret and you don't skip, you play the next fret. That's a half step. Okay? So I'm gonna play half step all the way to the 12th fret. This is the 12th fret. Half step all the way. I didn't skip any fret. That's half step. And I can do the same thing going down. Going back to the F. I'm back to the F by half steps. Like I said, when you play a note, a fretted note, and you move up 1 fret, you don't skip any fret. You play a half step. Okay? Whole step. To play a whole step, you need to skip 1 fret. So I'm going to play F. Remember, if I want to play a half step, I will have to play the next fret. Now, no. I want to play the whole step. Okay, whole step. I mean one step, whole step. So I'm gonna skip one fret. Okay, I'm gonna skip one fret. That's what you call a whole step. I can keep on going. I skipped whole step, whole step. I skip one fret, whole step. I skip one fret, whole step. I just played half step and whole step. And you can do the same thing on all the 6 strings. Okay? You can play half step, half steps, which is semitones, and whole step, okay, on all the six strings. So this is where I'm going to explain to you what the major scale is. To play the major scale, there's one very important fact that you need to remember, is that you have whole steps and half steps. Okay, but now you're probably asking me, okay, so where are the whole steps located? Where are the half steps located? The first thing the first thing that I would advise you to remember is the half steps in the major scale. Where are the half steps in the major scale? First of all, remember in the scale you have 7 notes. So let's say you're playing in the key of C. So you C, D, E, F, and so on. That means for each note on the scale, for each tone, each note on the scale, you have a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 notes. Now, if you play the note, the root that you started with when you start playing the scale, again, now you play 8 notes. But remember, that's the octave of the root. So, well, it doesn't count. Well, it's a note, but it's the repeat of your root in octave. So when you play a major scale, you have to remember you have 2 half steps, and the best way to learn the scale, in my opinion, is not by the name of the note, is by numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means when you do that, if I'm playing a major scale in the C major, G major, whatever, if I go by number, I don't have to remember, well, this note belongs to G, this note belongs to C, blah, blah. I know I go by number, which is like standard. Like it's I can use it for every scale because it's not specific to one scale. So we go by numbers, okay? If you are in the key of C, C, okay, is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7. Now if you repeat C again, then you have C octave, which is 8. Yeah, but it's actually 1, but 8, we call it octave. So when you play a major scale, you need to remember that you have two half steps, and they are between the notes 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. 3 and 4, 7 and 8. Now, if you play the major scale by name, if you want by letter names, you're gonna say, well, what is 3? Okay, 1 is C, 2 is D, 3 is E. So E is the third note of the C major scale. So I just and F is the fourth note of the major scale of the C major scale. I just told you the first half step is between 3 and 4. So in the major scale, the half step is between E and F. The second step is between 7th and 8th, the octave. Okay? What is 7th? I'm talking the 7th half step, the 7th semitone, the 7th half step is between B and C, which is 7 and 8. Okay, so let's count again. C1, D2, E3, F4, G5, A6, B7, and C again, 8 octave. So the half step is the second half step of the major scale is between 7 and 8. That means between B and C, the high C octave. So all the other steps you're going to play in the major scale, whatever major scale, it doesn't matter if the C major scale, G major scale, whatever major scale you play, you need to remember you got two half steps between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. Everything else is whole step, okay, the whole step, and that's the way it goes. C major scale. Okay. All right. So this is C here. I'm going to go by numbers, okay? C1, C. 1, 2, 3, half step. You're not going to skip here. You're not going to skip a fret here because this is half step. You go to next step, next fret. You're not going to, well, let me say it again. When you come to E3 here, 3, remember between 3 and 4 is a half step. Okay? So you're not going to skip a fret. You're going to play the next fret, which is F. Okay? That's your first half step. Now we're going to play whole steps until we get to B and C. Okay? This is 4 here. 5, 6, 7, 7, B, which is a C. It's C octave. So between, I'm going to do it again. 1, C. D, 2. E, 3. Now half step. Half step. Between 3 and 4. E and F. Between F and G, whole step. You skip a fret. That's G, which is 5. We go to 6, A. Whole step until we get to B and C. 7, B. Now the next one is gonna be half step, because remember the half steps are between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8. And I'll just play 7, B.